The following is a preview of my upcoming video, Ugly Sexy. The video will premiere on November 15th, Wednesday morning. Sit back and enjoy this preview. Greetings. This is Rom Wills, and this is another one of my special videos, Ugly Sexy. Now, despite everything that many dating coaches might say, seduction gurus or relationship experts, whoever, many men feel like that since they feel like they are ugly or they've been called ugly by women, that they can't get women, particularly attractive women. Some would even think any women. They think it's all about looks, and they will argue with you. They will argue with you despite anything that you try to tell them. In fact, they'll think it's a scam if you tell them that they can win despite their looks. Now, let's be clear on something. And this is something I've written. Looks matter. But they're not the total picture. And despite that, despite women taking looks into consideration, there are men out there who win despite not having quote-unquote good looks. I mean, they can even be called physically ugly. And I've done videos about that before. And of course, you always get arguments. Because one of the things I think is a problem is that many people think it's an absolute. Nothing about relationships are absolute. It's an art, not a science. And one of the things I wanted to do with this video was really explain how a man can win being ugly, despite being ugly. Now, here's the issue, too. Here's the issue. It does not mean that, automatically if you're ugly, you're going to get women. Just like it don't mean that if you're good looking, you automatically going to get women. See, the key to it all is so many other factors that are involved. Like the physical appearance is just one thing. In fact, in Nice Guys and Players, I actually wrote that your face is the least important thing. Because let's break this down. When Rom says looks, I'm like the overall picture. I'm like looking at it holistically. But the average person just means just their face. And I'm like, with women, very few women, very, very few women, or even very few men. Well, very few women are actually going to pick a man just on his face and nothing else, not looking at anything else. And very few men are even going to have that type of face because there's a bunch of factors involved. Now, the key, as I wrote in Nice Guys and Players, is to amp up every other factor. But I'm going to get more specific as to how a man can still get even a very attractive woman regardless of his facial features. Right? And you know what? This is something I know personally. Now, I always say I'm average looking, but a reality is a significant amount of the women I've dated in life and had sex in life never saw me as handsome. Man, all right, as best, couple let me know they thought I was ugly. But I was still able to get women. So the question is, how did I do it? I didn't do it with money. I publicly said I'm a cheap bastard. And then there were a lot of times I was getting women, I just didn't have money anyway, even if I wasn't a cheap bastard. So what was I doing? And that's the key. That's the key to understand. When you see these men who are winning, despite not looking like fashion models, they're not doing it because they're making all this money or something. See, a lot of people think, well, okay, if they don't look good, it must be money. Ain't that much damn money in the world, one. Two, a lot of these guys getting the women's shoe. Half the time the women might be making as much or even more than the man. And that still doesn't tell a story, because if a man is really, only men who could really truly use money to get women like that are millionaires. So, when you see this average looking dude or even ugly dude walking down the street with this like woman who's like rating a 8 or above, you think he really has money? First of all, he's walking. How much money he's going to have? Does he look like he has money? Is he wearing an expensive watch? Yet he's still with that woman. She's happy to be with him. So what I'm going to do in this video is really talk about the whole concept of ugly sexy. And this is a case that, you know what, this is even deeper than the average looking video, you know, where a guy's average looking. Because now I'm saying, okay, if you think you're ugly, and I'm not going to argue with you, but if you think you're ugly, you've been called ugly, you still can be among those who still get women. The key is simply to be ugly sexy. So sit back and enjoy, and let's get into this.